If you make emotional decisions around money, you will be broke. Did I say that too fast? If you make your financial decisions based on emotions, you will be broke. Because here's what I found out as an entrepreneur. Sometimes I don't feel like working. So guess what I do? I work anyway. Sometimes I feel like I've got the greatest idea in the world and I want to abandon everything and just run after this great idea. That's a terrible thing to do. Man, I just saw this thing and I really want to buy it. But if I buy it, I won't be able to pay my employees on Friday. Terrible idea. You can't make decisions, you can't make money decisions based on emotions and get rich. I mean, you can make money decisions based on emotion, but you can't get rich. So you have to learn how to use your mind. So what do you use your mind to do? This is where the wealth is created. You must learn true perceptions, or learn to perceive the truth. You have to learn true perceptions. You don't see things the way they are. You see things the way you are. Did I say that too? I'm going to say that again. You don't see things the way they are. You see things the way you are. And what's really fascinating is, like, this is a scientific fact. This is how the algorithm knows what to feed you on social media. They feed you things you already like, already believe, already think. For perfect example, if you are like a liberal Democrat, they're going to show you all the good stuff they can find about liberal democratic politics. If you're a conservative Republican, they're going to show you all the conservative Republican stuff. If you like country music, they're not going to show you Beyonce and Michael Jackson. If you like pop music, they're not going to show you Travis Tritt and Clint Black. They're going to show you the stuff that you've already demonstrated you like. Well, guess what? Like, we have this thing in our mind called people call it reticular activation, but it's actually reticular actuation. And what happens is we notice things that we're aware of, and we don't notice things that we're not aware of. So you get a new car, right? You never, like, you saw this car, you're like, oh, this is a really cool car. But you didn't really see them that often, so you thought they weren't that common. Until you got one, it seems like the day after you got your new car. Like, most of the people in town went out and got the same car. Like, why are they copying me? They're not copying you. You've just become more aware of it. And so you have to learn how to use your mind to learn true perceptions. And because most people were miseducated in the miseducational, misdirectional system, most people don't like to do what they think learning is, but that's not actually what learning is anyway. So most people don't want to read because they were forced to read stuff that wasn't interesting, so they think reading is boring. How many of y'all tracking? Right? They learned math backwards in the American miseducational, misdirectional system. And so they think math is hard because the system intentionally, in my opinion, taught them math backwards so that they wouldn't want to think about numbers. And if you don't want to think about numbers, then you won't want to think about numbers when it comes to your money. So when you become an adult, it's easier for the system to take your money. There's an ethnic group that is categorically and historically better at math than every other ethnic group. Who am I talking about? Asians. Everybody said Asians, right? And so what people who don't understand reality like to do, well, that's because they have an extra math gene. No. People say stuff like that. No, they don't have an extra math gene. In Asia, they just don't teach math backwards. What do I mean? If you would have learned addition from left to right, we learn to read from right to left, but we learn math from right to left. Do you ever think about that? No. Never thought about that until now? Okay, watch this. Take some money out of my pocket. Okay, so I got some 20s, I got a 10, I got a 5, I got a 5, I got some 5s, I got some 1s. Oh, this is perfect. This is perfect for this illustration. If I am going to count this money, I got one $100 bill in here, a couple of 20s, a 10, some 5s, and some 1s. If I'm counting this money, what do I count first? I count the hundreds. Do I count the big ones first or the small ones first? The big ones. So when I'm counting money, I count the big ones first. And all I'm doing when I'm counting money is what? I'm adding it up to see how much I have. Right? I'm adding it up. And I'm adding it up in my head. I don't need to carry anything. I don't get confused. I don't know, what do I carry, right? Okay, so I'm gonna go over here to my board and I'm gonna teach you, by the way, addition is the foundation of mathematics. If you're not good at adding, you won't be good at subtracting. If you're not good at adding, you won't be good at multiplication. If you're not good at adding, you won't be good at division. You won't be good at percentages. But if you're good at addition, like the rest of math is at least 10 times easier. But if you're not good at adding, then the rest of math is going to be at least 10 times harder. I believe this is intentionally taught the wrong way. So